Good afternoon and good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Blind Press YouTube channel and coffee stream, episode 418. And today is Wednesday, and it is Wednesdays with Skep. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing very well. I hope you're having a good day as well. It's a beautiful day here in Texas. It's about 80 degrees, 85 degrees out there. It's going to be about 90 or 95 today. I don't know what that is in Celsius. It's like 30 or something.
About that.
And but it is just a beautiful day. It's sunny, and our our farm, I can't call it a garden anymore. It's taken over it is literally more than half our yard
Oh,
is
wow.
is devoted to growing things. We harvested like 110 tomatoes yesterday, and there are cherry tomatoes as far as the eye can
Oh,
see. And these
yummy.
tart little yummy. They're tart and sweet. They're and sun ripened. They're just amazing. I mean, you can't really find produce like this because you can't commercially grow produce like this.
No.
It's not hardy enough. This is really fragile stuff that wouldn't
And
ship very well.
growing produce like that commercially, then they throw in all these standards and inspection methods, and you
Right.
must use this particular pesticide,
And
and you must
you get a
use.
particular fruit or
Yeah.
vegetable at the end of that, and
Yeah.
it's kind of like God, this committee's going to improve your avocados. You know, Th-
That's
thanks
why I
awfully, guys.
love getting the um love finding the roadside stands
Oh yeah,
in the summer up
can
here
really
in
get some
Ontario, because
good
those are the
stuff.
small farms that don't
Right.
aren't like commercial,
Well,
like.
you get varieties of things like tomatoes, especially. But
Yeah.
it doesn't matter what it's tomatoes, peaches, apples, whatever. Uh, you get interesting varieties that you don't see in the stores, and you also just get a better quality of produce most of the time.
There's nothing like driving up to our cottage, and on the way we stop and we look for like corn stands,
Yeah.
and we just get a whole bunch of corn on the cob, and we bring it up to the cottage, and we just shuck it
Mm-hmm.
and boil a big pot of corn, and we have our burgers or whatever else we have, but we also get tons of nice, sweet, fresh corn on the cob with butter and salt, and it's so goddamn good.
Oh yeah, that's just that's different from the corn, the institutionalized, tasteless little kernels that
Yeah.
you get out of a can. No, that's wonderful. So anyway, we've been doing that. We harvested probably about 40 cucumbers yesterday. What the
Mm.
fuck am I going to do with 40 cucumbers? They're too big for pickles,
Yeah.
so we're giving them away.
Well, there you go.
Everybody has fresh cucumbers for a little while here. And cucumbers are kind of one and done for
Yeah.
the season because in the hot weather they just grow so small. It's not worth the effort to
That's
grow
why
'em.
we get them so big up here, because we don't
Oh yeah, you
like
stay cool up there,
we do have hot climate in the summer,
but
but
you
it's
get
not as
cool
long.
nights. You
But
get
we
cool
get cool
nights.
nights too,
Yeah.
so the cucumbers are
People don't
able.
know this. You know what Canada grows is I think this is right. They grow potatoes,
Mm-hmm.
and particularly in Western Canada, the uh,
We get potatoes from like different kinds of potatoes
uh
from all different kinds. Like you can get Prince Edward Island potatoes.
that's what I
You
was thinking.
get
Yeah, yeah.
Yukon Gold potatoes.
But Prince Edward Island potatoes was the thing I was
Yeah.
trying to think of.
The same with apples. Like there we get russet apples from like Nova Scotia and PEI, and they're so good, but they're so it's so funny because if you've never seen a russet apple before, you're like, that's a bad apple
Yeah,
because of the color.
you'd think there's something wrong with it, but
Yeah, and the skin is a little fuzzy as
right.
well.
But that's yeah. Yeah, I was looking up there are over 1,000 potato farms. These are farms devoted to growing nothing but potatoes in
Yeah,
Canada.
yeah.
I had no idea that there was that kind of farming, and more people are growing potatoes because it just the largest production is the Prince Edward Island. I did not know that either. Hmm. Canada produces about $1 billion worth of potatoes every year. It's $1 billion industry for
Yep.
Canada. Potatoes. Who knew?
And we that's why we have the I can't remember which chip company it was, but for a while they had a commercial, like a chain of commercials where there were potato farmers talking about like I guess the potato farmers that they had contracts with
Yep.
were talking about, these are the potatoes that this particular chip company uses, and like uh, Canadian grown potatoes for Canadian chip company and all this stuff. Yeah, the peach farms in Niagara. That's another thing that Ontario is really known for is its peaches.
Yeah.
In the southern Ontario, is known for its
It's just a
peaches
continuation of upstate New
and
York.
its
They have some
wine as
great.
well.
Yeah, they have some vineyards and orchards.
Yeah.
A lot of those in upstate New York. I'm sure that just continues on in Canada.
I've actually asked because I've got a friend that lives in upstate New York, and I'm like, do you guys get any Niagara wine over there? She's like, yeah, sometimes we do, and it's actually quite nice. And I'm like, yeah, so it's really cool. Like, there's so much you wouldn't
Niagara
think.
wine, is this like the Boone's Farm kind of wine, or is this serious wine?
No, this is serious. Like, this is
Expensive, good
you
wine.
can get some really nice, expensive Niagara Falls wine.
Because I knew that they grew serious wine grapes in upstate New York,
Yeah,
and it would make sense that Canada would produce. They're going to produce wine. Every country in the world produces wine. Unless they're an
a
Islamofascist regime.
desert country also perhaps maybe might not produce wine.
Yeah, but yeah, you're right. But any place they can grow grapes, any
Yeah,
place that can grow grapes produces wine. That is just axiomatic. Some of that will be devoted to that. But anyway, so
so I had quite the adventure last night.
you did. What'd you do?
And well, for those of you who were not on the pre-stream for Minions last night, I got my COVID shot last night, and I did allude to it in the intros to Minions about how when I got my shot, I felt kind of faint after I got the shot, kind of similar to the way I feel when I get blood taken. Um, and so when because they make you wait
That's the
for
way I feel.
15.
That's the way I feel when I see the government ever do something right. Kind of woozy, kind of back and forth on my
Yeah,
feet.
yeah. So they make you wait for 15 minutes after you get the shot just to make sure you're okay.
Yeah.
And one of the, nurses came by to check on me, and I said, I am feeling a little faint. And they took me back and to lie down. And just to be safe, they were taking my vitals. So they were taking my blood pressure and my blood oxygen. And so the first blood pressure reading was 86/44. which
barely there,
which
barely at home,
yeah. And I was coherent
dead
and
mostly.
I was coherent enough to tell them I was fit. Like I didn't actually pass out. There
No.
was no time at all where I lost consciousness or anything like that. So I was coherent the whole time. And then my blood oxygen level was reading 86%. Now, for
That
those
is
of
really, really low.
yeah,
96 is low.
yeah,
96 is about where they say that's too low.
yeah,
And they look at you with this concerned look.
yeah,
That's 96.
yeah. So my blood oxygen was 10 points lower than that. But the nurse was like, I don't get it. You're not, like, you're clearly conscious. You're, like, with these vitals, you should be, like, out cold.
Yeah.
Right? We should be rushing you to the hospital because you are out cold and probably not breathing very well.
Right, exactly.
Um,
With low oxygen like that, they are looking at, there's either something obstructing her airway or there's something coating the inside of her lungs.
yeah.
Something is keeping the oxygen away from her uh, cardiovascular system.
So she and I we couldn't help but laugh.
Well,
Right,
sure.
because there was clearly something wrong with the equipment because like I was clearly not like my demeanor did not match the vital signs, right?
Right. They're going, okay, she shouldn't be talking, she should be asleep right now and,
So
on her way to death.
yeah,
And she's sitting here having a conversation with us. So,
yeah, pretty much.
it's a, it's a clue.
So they were, taking multiple readings and
Excuse me.
all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And poor Pincalo was trying to text me and my purse was out of reach. But I had my Bluetooth. So I like turned it on and called him and I'm like, "So, I'm apparently a zombie." And the
Yeah.
nurse just started laughing, right?
Yeah.
But I ended up it was just about 15-20 minutes of observation and my blood pressure, like they did it the last readings, the equipment finally started functioning and I was 110/56 with a 99% blood oxygen level.
Yeah. Honestly, that's a little concerning that they couldn't get their stuff together
Yeah.
any sooner than that.
Well, and the nurse was getting a little. She was like, "I look really bad right now." I'm like, "It's okay. You're trying to do your job, right? It's the equipment they've given you is not working. It's not like you're trying to do your best, right?
Right.
You've only got the tools that you have,
Right. I mean, it's a little bit out of her hands, but
Yeah,
it's I was it's not really her fault, but in the back of my mind, I just keep thinking about, there's no incentive in a bureaucracy for someone to do their job better,
yeah,
to make a better attempt at their job. Why should they? Why should they bother? There's no upside. There's no reward for them. And
I
saying, well, maybe they'll just do it because they're good people. Yeah, maybe they will. That isn't usually the way to bet with human beings, but it can happen. And usually they make movies about it when it happens. Anyway.
So, Pinkala says, "You got the story wrong. I texted you first to say, are you a zombie?" I didn't see the messages until after, actually, because I couldn't get to my messages. So, but the people there were actually very nice. Like, because
Yeah.
Pinkalo had the kids. So, we got me set up, like, he got me set up with, like, a guide.
Okay.
And the security guard took me in and he got me a volunteer to walk through the clinic with me and get me to all the check-ins because it was a huge built like building. full of people, and that's another fun experience, is being completely blind in a brand new area that is echoey and
Yeah.
filled with conversation.
Oh yeah.
Just like buzzing conversation. Like it's
Almost can't make sense out of
no,
anything. Yeah.
no,
No,
it
exactly.
sucks.
Yeah.
So she and she was, the volunteer was very nice, and like nobody treated me like, because sometimes when you ask for help like that, you get the people that infantilize you.
Oh God.
And but
That can't be
thankfully,
hard to take for the 58,000th time.
oh god. And then when you get frustrated and snippy, you're the one who gets looked at like you're a bitch. It's like, but I'm a full-grown adult. Why are you treating me like that?
Yeah.
But thankfully they were very, they were just, when they didn't know what to do, like how to help me, they asked.
Whoa,
Which is,
whoa, wait a minute. Gave you agency?
yeah, it was amazing.
What'd that feel like?
It was like when I got to the actual cubicle for my vaccine, they're like, "So there's a chair over here. How can I direct you to it?" And I'm like, "It's okay if you guide me. There's not much space, so I don't mind if you physically guide me to the chair, because a lot of blind people, and I do as well, for the most part, do not appreciate people just grabbing and bodily moving you
Yes.
into a spot, which has happened quite often to me in my life. But there are times like this where you're in close quarters and there's tons of people, where feeling around with a long stick to find something is probably not
Not practical.
practical.
Yeah.
So I was just like, yeah, you know what, it's fine. You can take me to the chair. It's okay.
Yeah.
Like,
Man, that's got to be tiresome.
yeah, it is tiresome.
There must be some times when you just do not want to be touched anymore. I would
Yeah,
think people touch you reflexively.
and Pink Hollow has a good point. He says you're also leaving out the context where it was the end of the day and they've been doing probably close to 10, 12 hours of doing this, and they were acting like they were fresh, in the morning. Like they were very, very good. Like they must have been exhausted by the end of the day, right? Like
Mhm.
dealing with thousands of people coming in to get their shot.
Sure.
So they were great. Uh,
That's good to hear.
yeah.
That's good.
But the crappy part is, I have to wait 112 days for my next dose.
How long?
112 days.
Uh, who thought that was a good idea?
The government, who didn't get enough vaccines for everybody.
Okay, yeah, that because that sounds more like a them problem than a you problem.
Yeah. So my next dose is on your birthday, actually.
October 5th. That's funny.
Yeah.
That is funny.
Yeah.
Well, it, you getting protected from this stuff is a good birthday present for me. So it's perfectly acceptable birthday present. But that just seems like I can't believe we can't deliver vaccine any more efficiently than that.
I'm
Does
hoping
that strike you as being odd?
it does, and we are starting to ramp up dose procurement.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that I will be able, in the next like few weeks, maybe, to shorten, like to reschedule the appointment and see if, like, because they are talking about being able to shorten dose periods now.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that in a
You know,
couple
that's
more
kind of
weeks
what I
can.
did. I did that with the government here. Yeah, I was originally scheduled for late August.
Oh wow.
And meaning that I still would, I would still have a couple of months to wait for my first shot.
Mm-hmm.
And what I did was I called them up to see if they had a cancellation. And as the way the VA is doing the veterans in America are some of the last people to get their shots.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah. It's available to almost everybody else, and a lot of the vets are just going to the local drugstore and paying out of pocket.
Yeah.
Some minor administrative thing. They don't charge very much for it to get the shot. And of course the VA does what it does so well. It threatens you. It says you could lose your VA benefits if you get medical care, like that. And I'm just trying to save my own life.
That's fucked up.
So, and a lot of veterans are older. Anyway, blah 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 blah. So that's the way that goes. It's nonsense.
So I watched the Stephen Colbert Jon Stewart exchange this morning.
So, what did we think?
I was losing hope in Jon Stewart for a while. Quite honestly,
It was so wonderful
and
to see
to watch him come back and just I was like, yes, he's back. He's back. Thank God.
It's exactly the same reaction I had. I was so
Oh
happy.
my God, it was so refreshing because for a while there I was like, oh John.
Yeah.
Oh John, no.
Where's the irreverent? We want the irreverent one back. And
oh my God, it was just fantastic. Just fantastic. If there's an outbreak of chocolatey goodness near Hershey, Pennsylvania,
it's the fucking chocolate
factory. Oh my God.
That was just perfection, It even has the same name. The Wuhan infectious disease. How many clues do you need?
Yeah. The Wuhan novel coronavirus laboratory.
You couldn't write that into a script. People would say it's too on the nose.
What's up, buddy? Monster. Why are you writing things? Oh, you're making a Paw Patrol crew. Oh.
It's so interesting to hear him form, words and thoughts and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
We've watched him from the very beginning.
Yep.
He wasn't. It's just it really is miraculous to see that first step into cognition.
Yep.
Of kids. That just has always blown me away.
And his birthday's on Friday.
Oh wow! Is he excited, or does he know?
Oh, he knows.
Yeah,
he's excited. He's been counting the months since his little brother's birthday. He's been counting down till.
I want one of those. That looked pretty fun.
Yep.
I believe I'd like one of those. So,
Pinkalo says you really should try to go to the Spokane VA. I've heard nothing but great things about them. That's where my stepfather goes for all of his stuff.
All right. Of course, it's a 15.
Texas.
Yeah, it's a 1,500-mile drive for me, but I do what I can. Spokane. Yeah. In fact, I actually lived by the VA hospital when I lived in Spokane. I lived up there off Northwest Boulevard, which if you look on a map of Spokane, that's the big northwesty street that runs past the VA. It's in a very beautiful area. It butts up the east side, or I'm sorry, the west side of the VA butts up against the Spokane River State Park. Okay. And that is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, it's like the Snake River kind of scenery. Yeah, it's just beautiful stuff. Deep. The Spokane River cuts a very deep river valley there that's real scenic. Plus, you're in the mountains anyway. You're in the spur of the Rocky Mountains there,
Right.
and Mount Spokane is, of course, the dominating peak. Uh, uh, uh,
I
but
would
anyway,
I would love to tour across. Like I have not been across my own country yet.
so you'd like
And
to
I would
see?
love to go across
Yeah,
Canada.
I
Just
think that would be wonderful for you. I mean, just to get exposed to the different cultures,
oh yeah,
and there are really some subcultures and microcultures in
absolutely.
Canada that are very, very different from everything you've experienced and think of as Canadian.
Yep.
The maritime provinces have to be a lot different. I mean, I've studied them a little bit. It looks like they have just almost a different way of talking and
They do.
looking at things.
They do. It's and especially when you get to Newfoundland cuz it's not Irish. It's
Yeah,
not English.
right.
It's Newfie.
It
it
is all Newfie.
it really because they have a different accent, they have a different way of talking. They have like I have my one of my closest friends. You can tell when he's been speaking to his family as they say down home.
Down home. Yeah,
Because when he calls me, he go, "Hello there, my sister.
yeah,
How's you going? How's
yeah.
you going there?" And it's like, oh, you've been talking to your cousins, haven't you?
Hates the accent.
Monster. What? I did just say the first word. M O. Oh my god. Alex, we'll do this later. And then O, and then N, then ST, ER. Nova Scotians call it overhome. Yes, they do. So Newfies say down home. Nova Scotians say overhome.
So anyway, that's yeah. Uh, and then Western Canada too is very different from where you are.
Yep,
I mean, you kind
honey.
of have all of the
I'll help you write all the names out after my show, okay?
you have all of the uh, uh, both you have both agricultural and the government there. So you're kind of an interesting province.
Yeah.
You have an agricultural nature, but also very very urban nature too.
Mm-hmm.
Very sophisticated. It's kind of unusual because if you think of, at least my way of thinking, Winnipeg and uh, Alberta are kind of uncivilized. Those are just like tundra, you know, uh, territories, where hardy men, I guess, go out and what they eat muskrats all the time, right? Trapping muskrats and trading their hides for gold.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty much Winnipeg in a nutshell, I think.
Winnipeg is a big city. It's actually got the highest murder.
Manitoba is actually what I meant. But
Yeah,
yeah,
Manitoba.
yeah, yeah. Isn't Winnipeg some kind of weird death capital? I heard
Yep.
something about that.
Highest murder capital. It's the murder capital of Canada.
It's the murder capital of Canada, and the reason people are killing each other in Winnipeg, Canada, aside from the fact that it is utterly flat
And
and
frigidly cold.
frigidly cold and completely devoid of hope. Why are they mad?
I I don't know. Thank you for the donation, Duck Dog. I don't know why my Streamlabs app is not working for me to get your message, but thank you for the donation. Um, it's being a jerk. Hello, the Asia Research Directorate. Hello, Joel McLaughlin. Welcome to the stream. Seeing the canola fields of Manitoba and Saskatchewan is quite impressive. We have canola fields here too.
It's interesting if you look in Canada's most dangerous places in the magazine Maclean's,
Mm-hmm.
you would think that Winnipeg would be the number one city. It's not. It's only number 13. But there are 3 Manitoba cities in the top 10 of Maclean's most dangerous places in
Oh
Canada.
man, Winnipeg is no longer the really okay.
Well, I don't know if it's still, it might still be the murder capital of the world, but, or murder capital of Canada, but it is.
Churchill is probably more dangerous than Winnipeg because of the black bears.
Well, National News Magazine Maclean's has released their annual list of Canada's most dangerous places. And the city of Thompson, once again, tops the list for violent crime. Portage La Prairie ranks third. Selkirk comes in at seventh. Winnipeg places in the top 20 at 13. All 4 cities have seen their crime severity index rise year over year. The report isn't news to Manitoba. Maclean's uses Statistics Canada's crime severity index to rank cities, and the latest numbers were released last year. Let's see. The report also isn't news to Thompson Mayor Colleen Smook, which has been ranked number 1 for the past 3 years for violent crime and number 2 for crime overall. Wow. And she says we're proud of our ranking. We do what we can to keep crime as high as we can, and urge our citizens to kill each other. But number 1 is Thompson. Number 2 is North Battleford, Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan, yep.
So you know where that is. Portage La Prairie. Where is Portage La Prairie?
That, I think, is...
I'm going to tell you where it is. It is right... They have the world's largest Coca-Cola can. You didn't know that, did
No,
you?
I didn't.
Now you know that. Okay, this is up. If you go out of Winnipeg about 50 miles to the west.
Okay.
50 miles to the west of Winnipeg, out in a truly God-forsaken part of the tundra. I mean, there's nothing there. I'm looking on Google Maps, and I mean, there's nothing there. There's simply nothing there.
There are jokes about living in the prairies where you could watch your dog run away for 3 days. You know,
it's just amazingly flat, and oh my God. But at any rate, so there is Portage La Prairie. I just think it's an interesting name. Prince Albert and area in a can, a Saskatchewan. Prince Albert in a can, get it? Anyway, comes in at 4th.
Buddy.
Quesnel in British Columbia. Where's Quesnel?
I do not know where that is.
Is that over by let's do Quesnel.
Yes, I do know how to spell Chase, but my show's not over, is it?
Quesnel, Canada is over by, okay, it's wow, it's way up it's in British Columbia, but it is on like some godforsaken river, and
I would say is it
it's on the Fraser
with the Yukon?
Yeah, it's on the Fraser River. No, it's south of Prince George. In British Columbia.
Okay.
It's on a latitude approximately at the level of Edmonton, but it is it's up in the hills. It's up in those, coastal mountains.
Yeah.
North of Kamloops, about 150 miles, and out in the middle of freaking nowhere. So that
There's a lot of out in the middle of nowhere in
there
Canada.
it really is. There's, in fact, the this used to be more true. Now, yeah, you're starting to have some cities that are farther into the permafrost, like Edmonton, and even Yellowknife.
Yeah.
For example, you can drive to Yellowknife from the mainland, at least most of the time, and you can almost drive to Juneau, Alaska. You can almost get to Juneau, Alaska. So they're, but nobody will ever, nobody's ever going to build that road. It's not big enough. But anyway, yeah, uh, Canada is just, it is just so, the Northwest Territories are absolutely huge.
Yeah, they are. And then
And
there's none of it, or which is none of it is huge.
none of it is absolutely gigantic. It really, truly is. It's just,
And
it's
it's
so big, it's
so
stupid.
unpopulated.
Oh yeah, no, it's uh, absolutely bad.
I remember because when I was born, none of it wasn't officially a territory. It became
No,
a territory in, I believe, 98. Something like that, 98 or 99.
yeah, it was around the turn of the century, around the millennium, that they did that because all of a sudden I was looking at maps of Canada, and there was something new on there, and
Yep,
I was not accustomed to that. I was not ready for that.
because it used to be Yukon and the Northwest Territories, and now it's
Right.
the Yukon, the Northwest Territories, and Nunavut.
Yep. And none of it is a good size honker
Yep.
of territory. I mean, that's. I wonder if you took none of it and none of it square miles. None of it square miles is 800,000 square miles. Huh. And so it's 2.5 times the size of Texas.
God damn.
That is pretty fucking big.
That's big.
It's nearly the size of Alaska.
Yeah.
It's coming up on the size. It's like 3/4 or 2/3 or 3/4 the size of Alaska. That none of it is absolutely gigantic. Uh, I wonder if they knew it because didn't they give that over to semi-autonomous rule by the locals?
There are. It is still under federal government jurisdiction. It's still part of Canada, but
Okay,
The Inuit population
has a very
has
strong
a very strong
local government. Yeah.
local government there. Yeah,
Okay.
because that's their land. That's where they are. That's where they live. So apparently in the states, I'm sure you've heard about this. A cashier was fatally shot over an argument about masks at an Atlanta grocery store.
Oh, tell me that didn't happen.
Yep. This
Are
was
you
published
serious?
on June 14th. So it happened 2 days ago. Or, yeah, 2 days ago. Because it's the 16th today.
Here, go down. I'll read this out
Okay.
if you want. It says a grocery store cashier in the Atlanta area was killed, and 3 other people were wounded Monday in a shooting that followed an argument over wearing face masks in the supermarket, authorities said. DeKalb County Sheriff Melody Maddox said the shooting occurred inside the Big Bear supermarket in Decatur, where several people were inside the business. She said a female cashier was killed when a man opened fire. Go down a little bit in that story.
Here we
Okay,
go.
there was some confrontation argument. I'm not sure exactly what, in reference to the wearing of masks, at which time the subject pulled out a weapon and shot the cashier. Maddox said in a news conference. Maddox said she did not know the details of the argument. The customer was identified as Victor Lee Tucker, 30, of Palmetto, Georgia, according to the GBI, Georgia Bureau of Investigation. The agency said preliminary information indicates that Tucker got into an argument with the cashier and left the store without making his purchase, but immediately returned inside. He walked directly to the cashier, pulled out a handgun, and shot her. The GBI said in a news release. A reserve deputy who was employed for security at the store exchanged fire with the subject, and both were wounded, the sheriff said. DeKalb County Police Department officers arrested Tucker as he was attempting to crawl out the front door of the supermarket, the GBI wrote in a statement. Maddox said the deputy was hit twice by gunfire but was wearing a bulletproof vest and was taken to the medical center where he was in stable condition. The GBI said that unfortunately Tucker is also in stable condition instead of dead condition, which would be better because if you shoot a cashier over anything
Yeah.
other than her pulling a gun on you, fuck you.
Yeah, like
Go to hell.
seriously, like whatever your feelings are about masks.
Don't care who was on which side of which argument.
No.
Fuck you. You don't shoot an unarmed one who's just come to work, has a fuck you for Christmas.
And
I
it's
hate this
not the
guy.
cashier's policy. Like the cashiers don't make the policy.
Yeah.
Like they just have to follow the rules and tell people to follow the rules too. Like they don't they didn't create the policy for the store. Like this is I get so mad at these people who are like, but it's my freedom not to wear a mask. Okay, you know what? There are store policies. Do you get pissed off when there's a no shirt, no shoes sign? No shirt, no shoes, no service? Do you get pissed off about that? Well, no. Well, then why are you pissed off about people asking you to wear a mask while you're in the store?
No kidding.
Just put the mask on, go get your stuff and leave and then take the mask off.
Yes, there's so many
Be a fucking
opportunities.
adult.
So many opportunities here to be reasonable, to be the grown up.
Okay, you can go watch your movie if you'd like, or in the playroom.
And this poor woman was just minding her own business,
Yeah.
doing what she's paid to do. And this asshole, who, when you look at him, he looks like he's well built, should be relatively intelligent.
Right.
You look into his eyes, there's a little something going on there. He doesn't have that dull look of somebody who's just
Right.
an imbecile.
But instead, he chose to go back out to his vehicle and get his gun. Because I guarantee you that's what he did.
It's just sickening.
He didn't make his purchase. He left and came right back. He went to his car to get his fucking gun.
Yeah, so he could be the big man.
And
I'll go get my, like Barney Fife getting his bullet out of his shirt pocket. Hang on, Andy, I got to get my bullet out and get into the gun.
It's like, fuck you, man. Like, seriously. Like, and I do not understand these people who are like, these straight up militant, I won't put on a mask for nobody. Like, just
no, fuck off.
Put on a fucking mask, do your shit, leave, take it off.
Yeah. It's not hard.
Like, nobody's asking you to wear a mask outside to the park. And if you do find those people, laugh at them. Right? But if you're going into a store whose policy says, look, we just want you to be masked up while you're in here. Just be an adult and do it.
Just fucking infuriates me. This asshole took it on himself to take another life over something so utterly unimportant.
Yeah.
Yeah, he ruined a bunch of lives, not just the life he took,
Yeah.
but all the people who love that woman, all the people who depend on her, all the people who care anything about her, who she cared about. She's gone from their lives because he had to be a big shot.
Yeah.
Man, I swear to God, I would make an example of guys like that. I see why they invented punishments like drawing and quartering.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to, have this guy publicly at least humiliated, maybe not tortured, but I do not want him to have a moment's peace, not for the rest of his life, which won't be very long in my world. This,
No.
this guy takes
This,
a
this
fast
is
exit.
this is why I kind of. You remember the episode of Voyager where Tom Paris was accused of murdering somebody, and their punishment on that planet was to make you relive the murder or
Yes,
your
yes,
crime
yes, yes,
through the victim's eyes?
yes.
Yeah, this is one of those instances where I think that's an appropriate punishment.
Yep, I agree with you. Again and again and again. We don't. Anyway, uh, what a sad story.
I just it makes me so angry to
The interesting thing is that what you're seeing is the fruition of the progressive agenda, which is essentially to control the population and then do do the things you think are right regardless of the law. That's
yeah.
basically that's the difference between progressives and uh, conservatives or libertarian, conservatarians, I'll call them. The real difference is that they cannot stand the idea of people doing the wrong thing, people
Mm-hmm.
who need to be controlled and need to be, directed to doing the right thing. The problem is when you do that, you end up having to destroy people, kill people, dominate them, and subjugate them in such a way that they're little more than slaves. And that's the liberal agenda right there.
So do you want to hear about something ridiculous that I found over the
Oh,
weekend?
please. Yes, let's have some comic relief.
So I was scrolling through TikTok.
Yeah. that's that's that's
First
that's
mistake.
yeah.
So I came across this video that another disabled person, like I guess, clipped and added to her video because the original creator had her. They're called duets and stitches, where
Uh-huh.
you can take a clip of a video and add your own thoughts to it. But
Yeah.
she had all that turned off. So
Okay.
this disabled creator, I guess, had to download the video and like clip it herself and
Hmm.
add it to her thoughts that way. But this video, I went and watched the original. It's from a creator who does these videos where it's you can tell she just Googles random stuff and puts like three or four different supposed facts in these minute long videos.
Okay, like what would be an example of a supposed fact?
Um, well, she did a thing where if she did a two-part video about ear hacks where you could stimulate and stop different things like you could stop salty cravings or you could stimulate your sex drive by pushing on different pressure points on your ear with a pencil.
Okay.
Yeah. So stuff like that.
X'd it out, but
Uh-huh.
okay.
So she starts this video in question, and the caption of this video is, "For reasons, this is a joke." Okay? But, and you'll see why in a minute why it's not a funny joke. She
Okay.
starts off this video by saying, "If a service dog approaches you but it's alone,
Oh, I'm gonna get pissed off, I
it
can tell.
usually means that its handler is unconscious and can't move. So you should follow it so you can get a free wallet. And then
What?
she moves on to like different something else that has nothing to do with that. But
Okay.
but and a bunch of disabled people who
So
have
she's a
service dogs.
psychopath.
Yeah, a bunch of disabled people who have service dogs commented and was like, "Okay, that's not funny."
Yeah.
Like at all. And her response was to block every disabled person that commented that.
First smart thing she's done.
Um, and before she made this remark, she made some. I can't find them right now, but she made some anti Semitic and racist remarks a couple months back.
Well, sure.
And when people called her out on that, she was like, I have ADHD, I can't help it.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but this,
A not
so
very bright person who wants to be an asshole and have everybody look at her. Got it.
but the scary thing is this chick's got 13 million followers.
No, shut up. You. That's not true.
Yes, she does. Yeah.
DM me your name. I've got to find out about this.
Okay.
Did please?
But she
God.
like this.
Yeah, I don't want. I don't want to set the hands on her. Don't put it in public.
No. But this
My
is
God.
just like, and I'm all for dark humor, right?
Yeah.
You've seen me and Sanguine go
Well,
back and forth,
You and
right?
you and
And
I
you and
get pretty
me,
dark.
and like I joke
People who
about
people who hurt children would not fare well in a universe designed by Skep and Blind
no,
Price.
but the
Just would not be fun.
when you say something like that,
Yeah,
that's not a joke.
it's
That's
not.
not
There's no
funny.
humor value to it. There's no humor in that.
And not to mention, there's already, like, people with service dogs already have huge
It's a big
problems they have to
mountain to climb.
face because,
Yeah,
like, people are always like, you can't bring your dog in here, or we don't want to take you in our rideshare program because you have a dog,
yeah.
or
Your dog is scaring
your
me
dog is scaring me even though it's trained and on a leash and not going to do anything.
because
Or,
I need attention right now.
yeah.
Look at
Or
me. I'm scared.
or that dog's not a real service dog because I've seen somebody with an emotional pet squirrel come on here, so therefore your dog is illegitimate.
Yeah.
Like, all of those problems. And then she's like, yeah, go rob an unconscious disabled person.
What an asshole.
Like, now I wish I actually had a good camera, said Pink Hollow. There's a guy out here in a big red bike, I think he said. Uh oh, big red biplane doing loop-de-loops. That's awesome.
Tell him to take whatever footage he can.
He's only got his little Samsung phone with him.
Just even that would be good. That would be worthwhile. Yeah, it'd be nice to have a nice camera, but even just what you can pack onto a cell phone would be good.
His camera's pretty good. It's on his phone. It's unfortunately though it's got a little scratch in the lens, which kind of sucks,
Yeah, it does.
especially for a guy who loves taking photos like Pincalo does. Like,
Yeah, I was just gonna say he's kind of got some artistic abilities in that area. I've seen his work. He's definitely has the soul of an artist.
Yep.
He's he needs to do more of that. Honestly, I think he should do more of that,
He does. He should.
and or make it public if he does.
Cannibalistic Wizard says, I think I've seen that joke for a few years. Yeah, well, see, that's the thing, though. It's not a... Like, there are good funny jokes about disability, right? There's
And you can make them. Then it's a good lever for humor.
yeah,
It's very advantageous for humor because you also have to be careful at the same time not to be offensive, and you can be offensive, and then that kind of adds spice to the whole thing. You have to be a little bit clever about the joke that you make,
yeah,
and it should drive a better joke. That's why I can't believe she couldn't come up with anything less lame than that. Really? Do you just not think at all? Have you ever had a thought in your life?
yeah.
It's the difference between having a thought and being one.
Right.
So,
It's really frustrating.
so
Like
they have Twitch thoughts on TikTok.
apparently.
You should call them Tick thoughts.
Yeah.
But anyway, as hard as it may be to accept all of you that you have spent an hour of your life with Blind Press and me, you have, and I wanted to be the first to thank you for spending that hour with us.
Yes.
Always love hanging out with my friend Blind Press and coming on and just shooting the shit. This is the most chill stream I ever do. My show is much more irritating and action packed and serious. I just come on here and shoot the shit, and it's just absolutely wonderful. I need this. 2 weeks seems to be about the right period of time. Although I really miss it when we miss a week, and
Yeah.
I would actually like us to try and make up if we miss it, like do a Thursdays with Skep if you can't do Wednesdays, but. See if you think that fits with the rest of the programming you're trying to do.
Or maybe, or I can like bring you in on a Friday, on the Friday if
Yeah,
we
on
miss it or
the Friday,
something.
that'd be fun. I would enjoy that, and it's at a time of day when I usually, uh, have a little bit of freedom. Yeah, we can do that. So, or just anytime you want. But thanks for having me on.
And thank you for joining me. And thank you all for watching. Please also remember that I will be live tonight on Twitch at, I'm hoping, 10:30. If not, it'll be 11 at the latest. And of course, Friday on for a coffee stream, and Saturday will be the Star Trek stream where we talk about the episodes and movie moments that gave us
Thursday
a
night, you're
laugh.
going to be on with Prospero
I will, yeah.
on
I'll be on
Minions.
Minions on Thursday night as well. So
So you've
come and
got plenty of Skep and plenty of Blind Press in your future. Uh, may God have mercy on your souls.
have a great rest of your Wednesday, guys.
Bye, everybody.